787 for Dave, 787.
787.
Honda-mounted Dave Watson was so clean, smooth, and fast that the points leader proved to be a tough act to follow. This 8:79.05 stood up until Triumph pilot John Hamilton pulled the trigger and held it until he didn't need machine gun noises anymore. Down went Watson to an 8:4.39. Jeff Thomas was 5th after the first run, 11th in points, and only 10th quick by the time he dropped the hammer for his second try. But when he got to the top of the hill, he was almost on top of the leaderboard, too. Thomas displaced Watson for second, but no one got close to Hamilton, who stood on his first run time to win it. On the big bikes, no one was faster than points leader Dave Watson in the first run. His flawless run through the thick, hazy air was fastest of the day in either class at this point, a sensational 7:87. The 4 riders scheduled before the second run for Jeff Thomas and his Yamaha either scratched or keeled over before the top, but Thomas made it, setting fast time for run 2 at an 8:46. Johnstown, PA's Tiger Strength was sitting second in points with 3 wins as he headed up the hill, and when he went over the top, he was second quick behind Thomas with an 8:74. But remember, Watson had a sub-8 second run to sit on, which he did to win the 800 class. Watson leads points in both classes, something no one can remember anyone doing for a long, long time. Reporting for Bike Week, I'm Brian Dreber.
Bike Week is being brought to you by Kawasaki in Delbarton, West Virginia. The location wasn't the only thing new for the series, because this year the racers are allowed to compete in both the 800 and 540cc classes as well. And if week 1 is any indication, the new rule will make the racing that much more exciting. John Wilkerson breaks down the season opener.
Number 30, David Watson, is one of a handful of racers that will compete in both classes this season.
Get a little practice since there is only 2 runs usually at Hillclimb, so when you get able to get 4 runs, it helps you big time, I think.
And in the 540 class, he set the pace on his first run of the day with a time of 8.47 seconds. While Watson was in the early season groove, some of the other title contenders struggled. Number 3, Phil Libhart, managed only 15 feet on his first run, then ran a 10.57 for his 16th overall. Defending champ Ted Wilkins also struggled in the opener as a Kenmount, Ontario resident finished 10th with a time of 9.26 seconds. Multi-time champion Paul Pinsonault is on a mission this year to recapture the number 1 plate. And at round 1, he handled the dry conditions without any difficulties and finished on the podium in 3rd. Number 33, Tim Frazier, also proved he'll be tough to beat this year, as he fell just 0.25 seconds short of Watson's winning time. It didn't take long for Watson to use his 540 runs to propel to the top of the 800cc leaderboard with an 8.11 second run aboard the number 3 Honda. Unlike the 540 class, though, his time didn't hold up when defending champion James Large powered his Harley-Davidson to a 7.90 second run. Watson returned to beat that time, but he got caught up on the first breaker and had to settle for second place, as James Large wins the first of 16 rounds.
With the team I got, I can't say enough about Tom and Beulah Reiser and Drives Recycle. They're the ones that provide me with this awesome motorcycle, and we've got a crew of people that work all week long trying to get this bike ready, and it's just unreal the amount of time and effort they put in just so I can come out here today and do what we're doing. And I'm glad they do, because it's come out real good for us today.
You know, I ended up second for the day, so I ain't too bad, but would have liked to been 1-1, but we'll get them next time.
Reporting for Motoworld, I'm John Wilkerson.
Thanks, John. To pull double duty like David Watson, you need to have a finely tuned bike by a certified mechanic. We here at Motoworld would like to help aspiring mechanics with our Motoworld MMI Scholarship Program to earn over 90. Also this Sunday, it's full speed ahead for the AMA Superbike Series as they head to Loudon, New Hampshire. And the NHRA drags are back on the quarter mile at Columbus, Ohio this Friday through Sunday, June 16th to the 18th. Welcome back to Motoworld. The rules of AMA hill climb racing are quite simple. Ride up the hill as fast as you can, you win. But as Motoworld's John Wilkerson reports from the 3rd round of the series at Jefferson, Pennsylvania, some things are easier said than done.
The Jefferson Hill is notorious for its speed and tricky breaker to the start that has claimed its fair share of racers.
Jefferson's, I think the tricky part of it is getting across the first breaker good. If you get across there and don't lose too much time, then you're in good shape. Just go straight, and the middle of the hill's pretty fast, but the first breaker is the toughest part of it.
Same as always here, you know, that first breaker has to be hit perfect. Once you hit that breaker, you can turn that throttle on. This is pretty much a wide open hill. And I've been pretty fortunate in the last few years to hit that breaker perfect just about every time. So hopefully I can do that today and come out of here a winner.
Larger success at Jefferson continued as last year's series champion cleared that first breaker cleanly in both runs to take third overall in the 800cc class. This season, racers are allowed to compete in both the 800 and 540 series, and number 3, David Watson, has used that to his advantage as he leads both divisions and has earned some new fans in the process. On his first run in the 800s, Watson set a fast time with a 5.544, but number 5, Tim Frazier, was able to top that in his second run with a 5.467. Watson returned to try and beat that time, but he fell short, giving Frazier his first win of the year. The win moves Frazier within 2 points of Watson for the championship, as Robert Templeton, who finished 6th, sits in third, 8 points off the top spot. In the 540 class, Watson only needed one pass aboard his number 3 bike as he took the overall with a winning time of 5.778. The win moves him 5 points ahead of Frazier, who finished third in the afternoon, as defending champion Ted Wilkins moves to 7th in the points after finishing the day in 2nd place. For Motoworld, I'm John Wilson.
City, Pennsylvania, the competition came into the round with their sights set on 800 and 540cc points leader David Watson. But as John Wilkerson explains, the racers first had to overcome the oppressive heat.
With the temperature reaching 100 degrees and the humidity to match, the weather became more of a challenge to overcome than the hill, at least for some riders.
I'm just trying to keep cool today. I'm not used to this heat. But my igloo just melted last week at home, so I'm not used to this at all.
The Canadian Wilkins finished 5th, no doubt slowed by the high temperatures. However, number 2, Paul Pincinel, set the time to beat aboard the Honda with an ultra-fast 8.654 second run. David Watson, who leads both classes in the point standing, tried for his 3rd win in the 540 class. However, he could only manage a 9.427 that put him 3rd overall, also aboard a Honda machine. Number 7, Scott McNeely, came the closest when he notched a 9.080 as 5-time series champion Paul Pincinel wins his first race of 2000.
I want to make it as close as I can, but trying to beat one of those 4-cylinder bikes with a little single it's getting tougher all the time.
In the 800 class, Watkins recovered from a poor first run and earned a second run time of 8.923, which was good enough for the win ahead of Jeff Thomas and Glendale Petty. In our hill climb crashers of the week, Russell Vanderveen wins the 800cc class award when he goes off the course and ended up in the bushes. In the 540s, Motoworld judges score Richie Shiverman's backflip a 10.0. With the Summer Olympic Games a couple of months away, this backflip may have earned him a trip to Sydney. For Motoworld, I'm John Wilkerson.
Thanks, John. The 5th round of the series was in Avoca, New York on Sunday. More in the 800s. It's David Watson nipping Tim Frazier just under 1,000th of a second for the win. Watson increases his points lead over the field. Mr. Watson continued his good riding in the 540 Division 2 as he beat out Paul Pincinel to take the victory. And once again in the points, it's Watson's series as he leads in both divisions. Finally, another off-road action. It was Paul Edmondson beating 2-time GNCC champion Rodney Smith to grab his second cross.
Some of the major events coming up in the world of motorcycles and ATVs.
The best road racers in the world are coming to America as the World Superbike Series is in Laguna Seca, California this Sunday, July 9th. Who will win the big bucks in NHRA's All-Star Weekend? Find out as the Pro Stock motorcycles are back in action July 9th at Bristol, Tennessee. And also that same day, AMA Hillclimbers are in Weirton, West Virginia for the 7th round of that series. Remember, if you can't be at the races, do the next best thing and watch Motoworld. Speaking of Hillclimb racing, the 6th round of the series was in East Palestine, Ohio, where David Watson continued to move closer to not 1, but 2 titles this season. Darren Mann has the story.
The hill they call Lucifer's Ladder was bound to cause some trouble for the riders as they approached it rung by rung in round number 6 of the Hillclimb series. With the event marking the first pro bike run on the jump-laden hill, the riders weren't sure what to expect on the Devil's Playground.
This is the first time we're going to be running this on our pro bikes, and I haven't seen the hill except for this morning. So it looks like it'd be a lot of fun. There's some jumps in it, and I'd like to see the hills a little longer so you could get going a little faster, but this one here should be pretty interesting. It should be close racing.
In the 540 class, Tiger Strank, who's been struggling all season aboard his Kawasaki, posted a 6.321 to set the mark. Paul Pincinau's first run was brilliant at 6.409, but a missed judgment on the second run sent him face planting. He finished the day in third. Who else to step up to the plate but red-hot David Watson, who powered his Honda to a 6.304 run, good enough for the win in the 540 class. With a sweep in both classes at round 5 in Avoca, the competition's gotta wonder what methods Watson's employed to bring such success.
We did a lot of suspension work over the winter, so I was bottoming out a lot, you know, and just basically got 2 bikes that are the same, so it's easier to be consistent because they're so close in the way they feel, and you just more rides on a hill, the better you are.
On to the 800 class, where Indianapolis's Jeff Thomas was first up and first to set the pace with a blistering 6.212 time on his Yamaha. Number 2, Bobby Templeton, had a rough day. After misjudging the second jump, he sent his Harley airborne and blam! 280 feet and a rung bell was all he got out of the day. Hats off to Motoworld cameraman video Mike Grant, who never flinched in the line of fire to bring you, the viewer, the up-close racing action you want to see. And once again, David Watson times the jumps perfectly, coming in at 6.136 seconds, by far the best time of the day, and once again sweeping both classes. Jeff Thomas's times would solidify him in second place as he looks forward to the rest of the season.
Well, it's a pretty nasty hill with some big jumps, and I was the first rider in the 800 class, so you know, I held it wide open and made that big jump up there. I was lucky enough to land it, and Dave Watson was fast, and I couldn't better my time the second ride, but I'd like to thank my sponsors, Vinyl Craft and Skin Industries and Innovative Machine, for helping the bike go as good as this day. If we get consistent, we'll start winning some more races.
Consistency is the name of the game in championship quests. Reporting for Motoworld, I'm Darren Mann.
Thanks, Darren. This series continues to provide lots of excitement on the hills no matter where they show up. To extend his winning streak to 3 in both classes. But as Darren Mann reports, Watson would have to accomplish this feat while breaking in the new hill at Weirton, West Virginia.
Crashes and numerous get-offs marred the inaugural event at Weirton, West Virginia, but that didn't come as a surprise to the event's promoter.
I think this is going to be one of the tougher hills they'll run on all year long. We had the best amateur climbers around here a month ago, the first people that ever tried it, and about 60% of them didn't make it halfway up the hill, so it's a tough hill.
While most crashes result in only wounded pride, Mike DeBus didn't escape that easily as the Pennsylvania resident suffered a dislocated elbow in this get-off in the 800cc class. Tim Frazier came into the weekend trailing series leader David Watson by 18 points, and on his first run of the day, he set the fast time with a 7.236 run. That time held up until the final pass of the day when Watson blew it away with a 7.08 run, which, to the delight of the fans, forced Frazier back out onto the hill to beat the new fast time. Frazier, though, bounced off the line and couldn't keep on the gas, which gave Watson his 4th straight 800cc victory. Jeff Thomas rounded out the podium as Greg Williams took home 4th in his first race of the season. Watson's win extends his points lead to 19 over Frazier. Meanwhile, 3rd through 5th place is only separated by 2 points as Glendale Petty has 75. Same angles, different class as Watson came out on his first run and set the fastest time in the 540cc division. However, Walter Tiger Strank answered the series points leader on his first run with a time of 7.400. The time held up as Strank earned his 2nd victory of the season. Phil Libhart edged out Watson for 2nd place as last year's champion Ted Wilkins finished the day in 5th.
You know, it's my 2nd one. It feels good. Tough beating Watson. I had to hold it wide open and clear that 2nd jump, and it just happened. It landed perfect, took right back off, and ended up fast time. You know, the worst part's just sit and wait and see if everybody else beats you. But, man, it worked out great.
Thanks to his 4 wins of the season, Watson maintains a 13-point lead over Strank in the 540cc overall standings. Reporting for Motoworld, I'm Darren Mann.
Recently, the All-Star Challenge Hillclimb was held in Muskegon, Michigan, where the soil was moist, which which meant great traction and fast times for the riders. Could David Watson add to his points lead on the fast climb? Darren Mann reports.
Plenty of virgin grass covered the moist soil on Mount Garfield, but no need for a mower. The 540 class would take care of that. And all eyes were on series points leader David Watson and his red-hot Honda.
Well, today's a pretty nice day. The hill's real fast. Got a couple of little breakers, but nothing much to worry about. Just gonna try to keep it straight, keep the wheel on the ground, and see if we can get some fast times out of here.
After 2 elimination rounds, Watson was fast, but not fast enough, as a run time of 5.329 put him in 5th place on the day. Who had the hill dialed in? How about Phil Livehart, as his Triumph did just that, breaking the 5-second barrier with an amazing 4.925 climb. Number 12, Paul Garrity, looked more like an EPA employee as he floundered off the start, then brought back a soil sample to the lab. The only one left to contest was 99 champ Ted Wilkins. After struggling all season with bike problems, the veteran finally had it tuned in. Despite a great run, he would miss Livhart's mark by 15/100ths of a second, securing 2nd place.
Just the times were getting faster and faster, and I was so surprised that Phil got me there at the end for the money run. I thought I was going as fast as I possibly could go, and then it just went a bit faster. It's amazing.
First round, it was pretty wet, so we added some teeth to our gearing to see what, try and get a place to start. And we ended up being fastest until almost the end of the 2nd round. And we made a few other minor adjustments and came back and then ended up winning the 3rd round. So that worked out pretty good. We had a pretty good day.
Livhart's win moves him from 5th to 4th in the points, 28 behind Watson. On to the 800cc class, where the big bikes were sure to enjoy the excellent traction, and series points runner-up Tim Frazier was expecting very close racing.
You're going to get the most traction you're probably going to find at any hill climb this year here today. You're going to have to come off a line good and stay up front on the bike so it don't wheelie on you and keep the power on. It's a pretty fast hill, one of the fastest ones we go to. And we should see a lot of fast, but a lot of real close times today. The times will be real close to each other.
Frazier was right on the money. Here comes Rodney Smith proclaiming, "I'm not the GNCC rider, but I can get up a hill." He clocked in at 5.007 seconds aboard his Yamaha. Brandon Krieger learned the meaning of keeping the nose down early on aboard his Triumph. Next up, Watson displayed perfect control of machine and motion, setting a leading time of 4.931 seconds. A noble run, but up stepped Tim Frazier aboard his Harley, blasting from the line on a textbook run, taking the win with a blistering 4.835 shot up Mount Garfield. Ironically enough, Frazier was unable to stop in time. He crashed over the top, breaking his hip and unofficially ending his professional career in the process. Tim was 2nd behind Dave Watson. A cruel twist of fate indeed. Reporting for Motoworld, I'm Darren Mann.
This past weekend, the Hill Climb Series was in Dansville, New York, where Tiger Strength took the win in the 540 class ahead of Chris Van Heining and Phil Liebhart. Tiger gained some ground on Watson with his 3rd win of the season. In the 800 class, Jeff Thomas followed up a 2nd place finish in round 9 with a victory in round 10, narrowly defeating Watson and Greg Williams. Watson still leads the series as they head to East Palestine, Ohio for round 11. And at Palestine, Ohio is generally regarded as one of the toughest. And for years now, the hill has supplied Motoworld with tons of year-end best-of crash footage. Carnage lovers out there, the hill once again did not disappoint. Darren Mann reports.
Heading into round 11 of the Hill Climb Series, Honda rider Dave Watson held a rather comfortable lead over the competition in both the 540 and 800 classes. But that didn't ease the pressure of taking on one of the rockiest hills of the series.
Rock up there and it threw him right over the bars. So basically you gotta attack it hard, but you also gotta keep under control and keep the wheels on the ground. So it's a 100-foot long hill, but it's really tough and it's hard to go fast on it.
The 540 class kicked off with number 3 Phil Livhart laying down a blazing run at 3.650 seconds. Not a bad way to start the day, but try telling that to number 75 Anthony DeHart as he found out just how tough the little hill could be. Number 9 Chris Van Heining learned one thing today: you can't climb a hill without a chain. He finished 9th. 99 Rookie of the Year Tiger Strength showed no fear on the hill they call the Wall, clocking in at 3.355, the best one of the day. But don't hand over the trophy just yet. Dave Watson showed everyone why he is the series leader, pinning the throttle for a winning time of 3.289, his 6th win on the season.
I found one line way to the left-hand side of the hill. I says, I had to hit it because there's no other line looked good to me. So I went for it, man, and it come out through there nice and smooth. Stayed on the ground over a jump just like I wanted to, and I can't believe it. We pull out a 3-2 to win the class.
On to the 800 class where the fun and games continued. Glendale Petty Jr. went up the hill, then decides to somersault at the top. An odd move, but not nearly as odd as number 34 Rodney Smith's sudden left turn. He could have at least signaled. Dave Watson stayed on course, but could only get 3.729 out of his bike. That's not going to hold as Phil Libart gets his first 800cc victory of the season with a smashing 3.139, easily the best on the day. Was he happy? You be the judge. Watson leads the points race in the 540 class by a cushy 19 over Tiger's strength. Scott McNeely sits in third with 112. Same story in the 800 series. It's Watson ahead by 23 over Jeff Thomas. Glendale Petty Jr. is in third with 116. Reporting for Motoworld, I'm Darren Mann.
That's only a 540.
No. 8.79. .53. All pencil. .92 for Paul.
Honda-mounted Dave Watson was so clean, smooth, and fast that the points leader proved to be a tough act to follow. This 8:79.05 stood up until Triumph pilot John Hamilton pulled the trigger and held it until he didn't need machine gun noises anymore. Down went Watson to an 8:4.39. Jeff Thomas was 5th after the first run, 11th in points, and only 10th quick by the time he dropped the hammer for his second try. But when he got to the top of the hill, he was almost on top of the leaderboard, too. Thomas displaced Watson for second, but no one got close to Hamilton, who stood on his first run time to win it. On the big bikes, no one was faster than points leader Dave Watson in the first run. His flawless run through the thick, hazy air was fastest of the day in either class at this point, a sensational 7:87. The four riders scheduled before the second run for Jeff Thomas and his Yamaha either scratched or keeled over before the top, but Thomas made it, setting fast time for run 2 at an 8:46. Johnstown, PA's Tiger Strength was sitting second in points with 3 wins as he headed up the hill, and when he went over the top, he was second quick behind Thomas with an 8:74. But remember, Watson had a sub-8-second run to sit on, which he did to win the 800 class. Watson leads points in both classes, something no one can remember anyone doing for a long, long time. Reporting for Bike Week, I'm Brian Dreber.
Championship 2 races early. But we start with the 800cc class and defending 3-time champ James Large. In only his 4th appearance this season, Large smokes up the hill his second pass at a 7.6943. Now, just after that run, championship leader David Watson took his Honda through the mud. This great 7.6961, but 18 thousandths shy of Large. Third place run was put in by number 7, Jeff Thomas. Thomas got his Yamaha up the mound, 8.0386, and maybe starts a new Olympic sport, solo synchronized motorcycle riding. So James Large wins his 3rd in only 4 appearances.
Today it went real good. We had a good time. You know, the mud kind of slowed up our rides a little bit, but you know, you're going to have that in racing. And we come out here and took it one step at a time, and I had a good time. It was a good hill, and it really got faster in the second round.
Watson over Thomas extends his points lead to 26 with 30 left to get. On to the 540 class. David Watson won 7 times on his way to clinching the championship, but today his best run gets him 4th. Ahead of Watson, just 2 thousandths quicker, Dansville, New York's Chris Van Heining. Van Heining rips up the hill on his Honda at an 8.2027. After round 1, Easton PA's Richie Sherman led with a 7.9826 pass. He'd rely on that run to keep him in the hunt for the gold. But midway through the second round, John Hamilton fired up the mountain with a 7.7995, securing win number 2 of the year. 5th place went to Canadian Ted Wilkins. With Watson's number 1 plate, all that's left, bragging rights.
In the 540 class, I locked up the championship today with 2 races to go, and had a consistent year. A nice won 7 races this year. It was a really good year for that on new bike. First time out this year with it, and everything worked out good. In the 800 class, so far we're leading over Jeff Thomas, but 2 races left. He's real consistent also, so it's going to be right down to the wire, I think.
It's no surprise that David Watson's autograph was in high demand as the Massachusetts native entered the 12th round with 4 wins in the 800cc class and 6 W's in the 540 class. With his time of 7.879 in the 800 race, Watson was well on his way to another victory. Russell Vanderveen thought he had a shot at beating Watson's time, but today just wasn't his day as he face-planted to a 12th place overall. Watson's time held up with Jeff Thomas and Tiger Strength rounding out the top 3. In the 540 class, John Hamilton's first run time of 8.439 held up, which gave the Maryland native his first win of the season.
I won twice last year, and I've just had some bad luck this year so far, but my dad's bike's real fast, and I had a good ride today and a little bit of luck, and it worked out good.
Jeff Thomas and David Watson rounded out the podium as last year's champion Ted Wilkins finished 4th. On to the 13th round in Middlebury, Indiana, where Glendale Petty's season came to abrupt end when he suffered a broken leg on this spectacular get-off. Wow. If there's any consolation, he finished the day in 2nd place despite the crash. Number 3, Watson struggled to an uncharacteristic 4th place finish, which opened the door for Robert Templeton, who clicked off a winning time of 3.15 seconds for his first win of the season. Phil Libhart's time of 3.23 seconds placed him 3rd, with Indiana native son Jeff Thomas taking 5th overall.
The hill was very fast today, and the competition was right there. I was lucky enough to do it on my first ride. I really didn't want to come back and have to take a fast run on this hill the second ride because it started getting chewed up really bad, a lot of ruts into it. But we'll take it. First win of the year here, and it felt good. Felt real good.
In the 540 class, Ted Wilkins' rough season continued as the defending champion threw away his Rotax at the top of the hill and ended the afternoon in 12th place. And what can we say? At least he's not letting it get him down. As for the series leader, Watson, well, he took his 7th win with a run of 3.215 seconds.
Man, that thing was flying today, and a lot of guys really going fast, and I'm just lucky to pull out a win here. My first one here, never won here before, and it's an awesome feeling, man.
Tiger Strength, who has 3 wins this season, finished back in 9th as Phil Libhart and Alan Hoskins joined Watson on the podium. And finally, we head to the 14th round in Nashville, Indiana, where muddy conditions played a big role in giving some of the top riders headaches as well as backaches. But if the riders had trouble getting up the hill facing forward, this next guy couldn't be blamed for trying this unorthodox move. Needless to say, this didn't work. Back to the racing we go, where John Hamilton won the Battle of the 540 class. His time of 7.79 seconds. David Watson's 4th place run gave him enough points to clinch the 2000 championship.
With 2 races to go, we locked up the championship today, and man, it sure feels awesome with 2 races to go to be number 1.
Despite finishing 9th, Tiger Strength can lock up 2nd place next weekend, with 3rd place probably being decided at the finale in Ohio. In the 800s, last year's champion James Large, who took most of the year off for personal reasons, came back and set the fastest time of 7.694. Watson almost beat Large this time, but in the end fell .002 seconds short. Large, the win was his third in only 4 races this year. Jeff Thomas finished third, with Hamilton and Templeton filling out the top 5. In the first year of allowing riders to compete in both classes, Watson can become the first rider to win both championships this weekend in Pennsylvania. For Motoworld, I'm John Wolfers.
Thanks, John, and congratulations to David Watson on winning the 540 title.
He's underway with Kawasaki, makes that first breaker. Has a nice ride. 6.37. 6.37 for the... And the 540 champion, ladies and gentlemen, on board here this afternoon, Dave Watson. Dave Watson on a Honda has wrapped it up a week ago. Let's get him a big hand. Nobody can beat him in this class. He's got it sewed up. But the interesting point will be what he does in the 800 class. He has to finish 11th or better. Because here in Jefferson, Pennsylvania, on a Sunday afternoon, you'll see history made today. First rider ever to win the first division championship. Now that story unfolds throughout the afternoon. Thanks a lot from our Honda. For David Watson. Here comes the guy that...